So what I'm about to tell you is what happened to me on October 16th, 2016. I still can't believe it today. You see, I work in property preservation, and if you've ever worked that job, or know anybody who has, you talk to them and they'll tell you that you go into a lot of houses that are abandoned, empty. Some of them look like they've been empty forever. Others look like the people just recently got up and walked out. Well, part of your job is to go in the houses, and room by room you go through and you take photos of everything, report the conditions to the bank. I've been doing this job for almost 2 years at that point. I've been through, God, I don't know how many houses, hundreds probably. Some of them you don't even think twice about, and others you get kind of a eerie feeling that somebody's watching you. But this house on October 16th is one I'll never forget. It is located in Pennsylvania, and as soon as at first I even had trouble finding this house. I used GPS to find our locations, locations that me or my crew need to go to. Even GPS couldn't find this house. I must have driven 20 or 30 minutes past the point where it said I had arrived, and there was no house. So I went online and I tried to Google, and sometimes you get lucky and find a picture of that house somebody else had posted. No such luck. Well, I drove around and around and around, just about ready to give up. I was going to call the bank and tell them I can't find this house. And that's when I saw a mailbox laying in a field. The numbers on the mailbox matched the numbers of the house I was looking for. So I pulled off on the side of the road and I walked down. It looked like it had been a driveway at one point, but was overgrown by so much vegetation. Well, like I said, the numbers on the mailbox matched the house that I needed to find. So I continued walking down what used to be a driveway. And God, this walk seemed to take forever. I was going through thick woods, brush. You couldn't see anything except wild growth. And then I came around a corner and I found the house. I was hoping it wasn't the house that I was looking for, but it was. So I went back to my truck, put it in four-wheel drive, and drove down this driveway. As soon as I pulled up to that place, though, I could instantly feel like I was being watched. The house is a 3-story house. It was built in 1918. Has a pole barn out back and a little what looked like a shop off to the side. All of it boarded up. Most of the windows in the house were broken. None of those had been boarded up, though. So I went onto the patio and I got into the front door. I opened it. As soon as I opened it, I smelled this stench. It wasn't the smell of death, thank God, but it was a foul odor. Most of these houses that you go into have strange odors anyway, from being locked up, so you get the moldy smells or old food or what have you. This smell was different. Couldn't quite put my finger on it. I went into the house and it entered into a living room area. There was some furniture scattered around, but not a lot. So as I pulled out my camera and started to take pictures, the door behind me slammed shut. At this point, I'm starting to freak out. Hair on the back of my neck is rising. But I figured, hell, it's just the wind. So I went through the house, room by room, taking the photos that I'm supposed to take. I couldn't wait to get out of this house. I was nervous. It was a cool October day, but I was starting to sweat. I went up to the top, and up into the attic, started taking pictures, and then started working my way down. Every room I had this feeling I was being watched. Well, finally I had gotten all through all 3 floors, and it was time to go into the basement. My headlamp on, a flashlight on, a gun on my side. I was ready to go. Yeah, we carry guns, and I'm licensed to carry, because you never know what you're going to run into. Some of these houses are drug dens and, some nasty people. But anyways, I went down into the basement. Looked around, And there was an old rocking chair down there, like one that Grandma might have owned, you know. There was a water heater, 2 or 3 washers and dryers down there, which is not uncommon. And as I'm walking around, I heard this creaking sound back and forth, back and forth. It wasn't like footsteps, and I had a fear that I knew what this was. When I turned around, the rocking chair was rocking. I could feel my heart racing. I could feel the adrenaline start to pump, and I told myself, don't lose it. Just don't let your imagination get away from you. So I continued to take pictures, and I'm walking around and doing my inspection, and that's when I felt a push on my upper right-hand shoulder, like somebody had shoved me. Not hard, but shoved me enough to get my attention. I spun it around, and there was nobody. God, I'm getting goosebumps even telling the story now. I'm like, oh, hell, I got to get out of here. So I took the last photos that I needed, and I headed up the stairs to the basement. And that's when I noticed that the basement door leading down to the basement was shut. Well, I had left it open. There was ambient light on the ground floor, which was the kitchen. So I left it open to let that light in. But the door was shut. I got up to the top of the stairs and I turned the handle. I turned it slowly. I know it's not something I normally do, but I turned it slowly and it was locked. I swear to you, it was locked. Then I heard the creaking sound again. I was hoping that creaking sound wasn't somebody coming up the stairs. It wasn't. I turned around and that rocking chair, now sitting at the base of the stairs, facing the stairs, rocking back and forth. Now I'm scared shitless. Door's locked behind me. Then now the door starts to rattle. Oh, I have a twin brother that's in this business, and I figured he had showed up and was messing with me. Or some kid, some punk was messing around outside. I jotted down the stairs, hopped over this rocking chair, hoping to find a storm door, a cellar door. Well, I found it. I busted it open. I tore out of it. When I got outside, I couldn't find anybody. My red truck sitting in the drive. I looked around. Nothing. I got in my truck, and I thought for a minute, I've got to do some other things. I've got to take care of the photos that are required for the pole barn in that little shop. God tell me it's a shop and nothing else. So I got back out of the truck after regaining composure. I went to the pole barn. It was empty. Thank God. Took my photos, got in and out as quick as possible. Went over to the shop and found it boarded up. Had a hasp lock on the front door. Whole time I'm feeling, again, like I'm being watched from the house. I wanted to look over my shoulder and look up at the windows, but I didn't. I don't know if it was fear or just, I don't know what it was. So I popped open the hasp lock since my master key wasn't working on it. When I opened it up, there were chains hanging from the ceiling in this shop. And at the end of the chains were hooks. Rusty old hooks. They almost looked like meat hooks. I don't know. I looked around, I took my photos, did it as quick as I could, and got the hell out of there. When I got home, I went to upload the photos and send them to the bank. I don't know, people. This house scared the hell out of me. Well, before this, I was on the fence on whether or not I believe in hauntings or ghosts or anything like that. But now I'm not so sure. Well, I figured they were going to send me back to that house to do some additional work, but they haven't done it as if yet. I know they will, though. The windows need boarded. The house needs winterized. Well, if I go back, I'm going to take a video camera, and I'm going to take videos of it. And I'm not going alone. I'm bringing my crew with me. So, yeah, that's one of the scariest stories, scary experiences I've experienced in this business. You other property preservation people out there that are watching this, I'm sure you've had similar or some kind of weird experience. If so, put it in the comment section. All right? Well, thanks, guys, and I appreciate you watching. Goodbye. So what I'm about to tell you is what happened to me on